One thing I've said to everybody and led into a topic of high energy bands. The one thing you do, like when somebody pays a ticket to a non-point show, you know you're gonna get 110% of Elias Soriano going crazy, and your band. There's not a moment where your band ever goes or yourself looks down like shoegazing. you just
No, yeah, I think you never let them see you sweat. Even though I sweat a whole fucking lot when I'm on stage. No, it's it's something that I talk about with my students and the people that I work with through my frontman school. You know, uh, being on stage is sort of like a photo shoot. You got to remember that there's always eyes on you at all given times. So if you have the energy and the willpower to do so, you always have to pretend that someone is taking your picture. So even at your most, and this is part of my course, even when you're at your most exhausted and you're most tired, there's still a way to be theatrical with it, and a way to uh, exhume the emotion that you're fucking tired and you're giving it your all. And I think that level of honesty, keeping that throughout an entire performance, especially for just an hour. Come on, it's the least I can do.
Do you talk about in your class? We asked Ali Colleen this question last week about being in character. Is there a separation between when you're on stage, when you're off stage? Do you kind of have a line, you step into character and boom, scene, or
Yeah.
is it all you? Yeah.
No. It's something else that I mentioned in my course is that my stage persona is just me on 10, so it's me. It's not like it's not me. It's just the most courageous me, and the most enthusiastic me. So when I'm off stage, it's more about me dealing with me, not dealing with my art. So I definitely like to separate the two. And but on show days, and especially on big festival tours and stuff like that, you're usually wearing the hat because it's the gig. And you have to respect that, I feel like. And
Has that always been the case? Was there ever a time early on, and maybe you've seen this with other artists, where they haven't learned how to turn it off yet and they're always on? I could see where that would drive you to somebody to a burnout, or at least drive them to a point where they annoy everybody around them.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's the honesty that actually keeps me from really fitting into the whole rock genre and the rock world and the peers that I sometimes run into. Is that at the end of the day, I'm just some dude up there, really just trying to do what I love, and make a living off of it. But I take it more serious than probably a lot of people do. And my show really doesn't come with party nights afterwards, because I won't have a voice the next day. I can't come off stage and stand around and talk to people for an hour on headlining tours, because I'm singing for an hour and a half, and I'm singing a high B sharp, like a tenor B. So that's really high. And my voice is an instrument, but it definitely needs rest.
So how do you wind down after a show?
I shut the fuck up. and I turn on
you expel no more energy, right?
I turn on Mr. Robot, or Samurai, or some series that I can binge and just be quiet. But before the show, I absolutely need an hour to get there. And if not, I'm usually not there by the time I go out on stage. It's still it's still a fucking ball of nerves walking out on stage. I don't care who the fuck you are, and how big you've gotten when you stare out across 50,000 people. Unless you have your shit together, you'll stumble, and it'll take you a couple songs. And I don't like to. I like to come out swinging. So, I do my power hour routine. I listen to music that makes me swag up a little bit, and then I get out there and fucking do it.
You just said something to remind me. The most important lesson I think I have ever learned in performing live, and it was a really valuable lesson, is that there is no such thing as perfect. When you go into gigs thinking, all right, tonight's gonna be the night everything's perfect.
Yeah,
you're disappointed. You're disappointed every night.
I really get caught up in that sometimes, and I'm getting better at it, honestly. I forget the country artist that said it. She was talking, I think it was during the Grammys, and somebody in the comments will know who I'm talking about. But she said that, if you look at your set as a test, and every single note on that test was every single note that you sang, that if you only missed one or two notes out of the 100 notes that you're singing, that's still a 98, and you still got an A+. So it's not like
It's a great point.
It's something that artists, at the end of the day, it's our gig, and we rest on the opinions of others. Our livelihood literally rests on the opinions of others. Whether or not I feed myself depends on whether or not I'm cool in this business. So, I would be lying if I didn't say it didn't affect it in some way.
So when you're talking to people and you're preparing them about the bundle of nerves that you're just talking about, in some levels of that conversation, I have to imagine you're saying, look, shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just got to get through it.
And even though I mess up every once in a while, I come off stage now more than ever, looking at the overall scope of the show instead of just that one moment, especially when everybody else has had a good show and you come off saying, pissed off because you had one or two fucking bad notes. It's like, it's not good for the rest of the camp and the crew and everybody to do that. And the more I tack years onto this, the more I learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how about when you guys rehearse? Do you bring the same amount of energy while you're rehearsing?
Not at all.
No, you guys are just standing there and just going through it.
Yeah, basically, you making sure your fingers are working right. You're getting the muscle memory back. You're easing into it, because our rehearsals in pre-production normally happen just before, and I don't want to sing for 5 days straight on full blast and literally put a week of shows before my first week of shows and turn a 6-week tour into a 7-week tour on my voice. I gotta take care of it as much as I can, and same goes with the guys. We kick off the cobwebs a little bit, but we're vets. We get out there and we'll get it there.